the rise, the hustle, and the abandonment of a stolen childhood. She came out of nowhere, a meteor on social media. A little girl just 9 years old, flaunting luxury cars, million-dollar mansions, and piles of cash with an attitude that shocked and intrigued. It was impossible to ignore her. Lil Tay became a global phenomenon in 2018, loved by some, criticized by many, and talked about by everyone. Her catchphrases like "I'm a flexer" and videos showing her throwing cash out the window of a sports car went viral instantly. But behind that camera, there was a story no one wanted to see. A story of a stolen childhood. The story of a girl who never got the chance to be a child. What the world saw was a carefully constructed character, a puppet in the hands of adults who saw a golden opportunity in that little girl. At the peak of her fame, while viral videos were exploding across social media, Lil Tay had absolutely no control over anything. Every word, every shout, every bit of flexing, it was all scripted. It was all commanded. Mainly by her older brother, Jason Tion, who was the mastermind behind the image, and their mother, Angela Tion, who actively participated in producing the videos. They were the maestros of a media circus where the main attraction was a child. While the world laughed at her videos, she was crying in silence. The pressure to keep growing on social media was suffocating. Lil Tay, the character, had to be always on, always performing. There was no rest. There was no school. There were no real friends. Just performance. The girl behind the character was Claire Hope, a normal child who suddenly found herself in the center of a storm of money and fame that she could barely understand. All she really wanted was what any child wants: to play at the park, have a routine, and feel loved for who she was, not for who she pretended to be. The dark side of her viral rise began to surface. Leaked videos showed Lil Tay's brother coaching and even coercing her to deliver her iconic lines, revealing the fraud behind the attitude the world loved to hate. The image of a child being forced to become a meme for the entertainment and profit of her family left the public shocked and divided opinions. But the worst was yet to come. When the fame started to fade, so did the support. The opportunities disappeared. The followers left. The contracts dried up. And what was left? An isolated girl, marked by scandals, with a past she could barely comprehend. Her family, who had exploited her for fame, began an internal feud. There were allegations that her father, Christopher Hope, was trying to get custody of Lil Tay, and her mother, Angela, was accused of abuse. The legal battle became public, further exposing the girl's private life and the violence she endured. Lil Tay, now around 11 years old, became a ghost figure. She had disappeared from social media as quickly as she had emerged. Her voice silenced, her image distorted, and her childhood, which was already in tatters, was completely stolen by those who were supposed to protect her. The silence, the fake death, and the destiny of an exploited girl. The silence that followed Lil Tay's disappearance from social media was deafening. For years, the girl who dominated the internet with shouts and flexing vanished into limbo. What happened to her? Where did she go? The answer, to many people's surprise, was that the custody battle intensified, exposing a complex web of manipulation and exploitation. Lil Tay, or Claire, was under the guardianship of her father, Christopher Hope, who claimed to have saved his daughter from an abusive situation at the hands of her mother and brother. The accusations turned into a war of narratives, where the only real victim was the child herself, who no longer had a voice. During this period, a series of shocking accusations came to light. Jason Tion, the brother who orchestrated Lil Tay's persona, continued to use her fame to promote his own career, posting videos and making statements that kept his sister's name relevant, but without ever giving her a chance to speak for herself. In one of the saga's darkest moments, the brother himself posted photos of Lil Tay with bruises, alleging that their father was abusing her. The truthfulness of these accusations was questioned, and the whole story became a terrible tool of power for the adults in her life. By the time she was 14, Lil Tay was just the reflection of an industry that swallows child idols and spits out irreparable trauma. And then, the worst happened. Or at least, that's what the world thought. In August 2023, a mysterious message appeared on Lil Tay's verified Instagram account, shocking millions. The post, in a formal and somber tone, announced, "It is with a heavy heart that we share the devastating news of our beloved Claire's sudden and tragic passing." The news spread like wildfire. Millions mourned. International media reported the tragedy, with tributes appearing across all platforms. Searches for Lil Tay skyrocketed. The world paused to pay attention to the girl who had been forgotten. But it wasn't true. Days later, the truth emerged, in a way just as bizarre as the lie. It was revealed that the account had been hacked. Lil Tay herself, through a statement sent to the press, confirmed that she was alive and well and that the news was a complete lie. She said she was heartbroken and speechless by the cruel exploitation of her name. The fake death was just another chapter of her exploited life, a marketing stunt so shocking it seemed to be ripped from a horror movie script. What was meant to be a tragedy turned into a bizarre confirmation that, for the adults around her, the name Lil Tay was just a brand to be monetized, even if it meant faking her own death. However, the story didn't stop there. Months after the fake death incident, Lil Tay began to slowly resurface with a new narrative. She reactivated her social media and promised to return to music and the internet, but this time, it seemed that Claire herself was trying to take control. She posted a YouTube video, looking more mature, with a different appearance and a softer voice, speaking about the trauma of her past. She seemed to be trying to reconnect with the public, no longer as the screaming 9-year-old character, but as a young woman trying to heal and find her own identity. In a recent interview, she revealed that her time away from social media was a journey of self-discovery and healing. She spoke about the importance of her father in the custody battle and his efforts to give her a normal life away from the media circus. The new Lil Tay promised a future focused on her true passion, authentic, unscripted music. She even released a single, Sucker for Love, which was met with curiosity and a mix of support and skepticism. At 16, the girl who was once a global meme is still fighting to find her place. Her story is a warning about the dark side of child fame in the social media era. It's the story of a girl who never had the chance to have her own identity, whose name and image were used and abused to the point where the public could no longer separate her from the character. Lil Tay's journey is a reminder that for the adults in her life, a child's fame can be a lottery ticket, and a person's childhood can be the price to pay. The fact that she is still trying to rebuild and tell her own story is a testament to her resilience, but also proof that the scars of her stolen childhood may never fully heal. The child may have survived, but the battle to live as a whole person is far from over. Lil Tay's story gives us a lot to think about. If you also believe the world needs to hear more of these behind-the-scenes stories, subscribe to the channel and become part of our community. Together, we'll keep uncovering these narratives.